Hello and welcome to the International Pentagon Challenge. My name is Kyanite and together we'll be embarking on a very special Football Manager journey where we'll aim to try and win every major international competition in all 5 continents, forcing our hand to play with hundreds of different types of players and most importantly hopefully create loads of awesome different types of tactics along the way. Once that's complete, only then are we allowed to set our sights on the biggest of all goals, the FIFA World Cup. How many nations will we have to manage until we work our way to the top? How many dodgy names will we have to pronounce along the way? So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hopefully we're going to have a lot of fun along the way. Alright, hello and welcome to episode 70 of the International Pentagon Challenge. So we've made it into the 2031 African Cup of Nations semi-final and we've got Morocco. Beating Morocco means we will face whoever wins out of the Ivory Coast or Nigeria. Now, Morocco, you know, they're another Arab African nation. They're going to be a bit of a bogey team and they play this narrow 4-3-3. And while, you know, we were worried about this approach when we played Mali, who were the holding champions in the previous game, Morocco have much better players than Mali. So, for example, this kind of narrow 4-3-3 is very similar to how Klopp's Liverpool play in real life. And it's so devastating on the counter-attack, but defensively has problems because you don't have that many people behind the ball. So they've got this lad up front, looks, I mean, I'm saying it now, looks way better than any striker we've got. But it is, obviously, he probably isn't, but it's difficult to tell when you don't have, you know, 10 out of 10 scouting. Ben Ali also looks very good, but again, while he looks very good with a lot of greens, you can never tell which side of the spectrum his attributes really are at, because he's only valued 800k. But then they've got El Idrissi, who plays for Liverpool. So again, you'd think he's probably pretty decent, but again, it's very difficult to tell. So that's really what's coming out of Morocco. Now, we have 2 ways of approaching this. We can look at their weaknesses and try and take advantage of that, or we can try and take a similar approach where we tweak our own style of play, focus on playing our own style of play, like we did against Mali. And these formations, these narrow formations, are so heavily reliant on crosses and transitioning coming in from the wing-backs, where if we can use wingers pushed far up the field to occupy the wing-backs and not allow them to go forwards and retain possession well, then we can basically cancel out their front 3 strikers in general. We will struggle, however, whatever the scenario, in terms of dealing with their counter-attacks, because whenever they win the ball back in their own half and we're pressing up high, they're going to have 3 strikers versus our 2 centre-backs, and it just is the way it is. It doesn't matter whether we play a half-back, an anchor man, a ball-winning midfielder, they're always going to have that extra advantage, which unfortunately I think is a bit of an issue with the match engine this year. So that is it. I don't want to go into too much detail in terms of the Moroccan players. Let's see what we're going to do about it. Okay, here we go then for the starting lineup. So as we can see, I'm not actually quite sure why the game seems to think Abderraouf and Kamal have come in new, making debut. No, he's not making his debut. That's a weird glitch. But yeah, obviously Adel Ramsey returns to the team now, out on the left wing after serving his suspension in the last game. And Siam, I've actually remembered to play him at left back this game rather than Farouk, which is good because he's a slightly better player than Farouk, so we should probably be looking to play Siam. In terms of the Moroccan lineup, exactly how we expected it, to be honest. Playmakers in midfield, emphasis especially on the right wing back, looking to cross towards Khalid Al-Arab, who's really their main target man. And in general, they're going to be looking to play on the counter, using the wing-backs for width, and loads of crosses are going to be coming into the box. It's up to us as to how we're going to stop it, and how we're going to stop them being able to transition to hoof that ball forwards towards the front 3. And we're going to try and do something similar to what we did against Mali, simply because it worked against Mali, and tactically I think it's the right way to try and go about doing this. When you have opposition who play with 3 strikers, you know, there's only so much you can do, especially when they're as good as these guys that the Moroccans have. There's only so much you can do to stop them in transition. We just need to basically make sure we're 2-0 up or something like that before they even get an opportunity on goal, because they're always going to have opportunities on goal playing with 3 strikers. We need to just take advantage of the numerical advantage that we're basically being handed in midfield by them. Here we go then. So team talk went really well, because the last time we played against Morocco in a competitive game, I believe we lost. So, you know, told the lads to basically go out there and aim to get some revenge. So in terms of player instructions, both fullbacks are going to be on support with both wingers on attack, and we've dropped down to the standard mentality similar to what we did against Mali to level things up. But this is a bit of a gamble, and one that will hopefully pay off. We're going to be playing extremely wide. Now, the Moroccans are going to be very narrow, but the reason why I feel like playing extremely wide would work pretty well for us is because they are a lot more physical than we are. And our aim going into this is going to be to try and play a slower game than we usually do and hold on to possession. So really the idea is they can't utilise their physicals and close us down as well. If we make the pitch as big as possible, it'll help us tire them out and hopefully help us retain possession, because you know we're going to have a lot of space down the wings, but that could backfire. So we're going to have to wait and see. We've also removed Be More Expressive, and we've just basically left that as vanilla. Now, one important thing to mention is that Elmiri, who is Morocco's main left back, isn't with us today because I believe he's suspended for a red card. So I'm hoping El Sayed will give us a good game here. Both of our wingers are going to be looking to stay tight to their wing backs, and again, very similar concept to what we did against Mali. I'm not going to rediscuss it again because if you're watching this, you'll have seen the last episode, and that's what we're going to be looking to try and do, and we'll tweak as we go along. Here we go then. Massive, massive, massive game, and I love how both semi-finals have ended up being like kind of almost mini derbies. I mean, Morocco are definitely our rivals. I'm not entirely sure if Ivory Coast are actually Nigerian. Oh my god, we've hit the bar. I'm not actually sure whether Ivory Coast are Nigeria's actual rivals within the game, but a minute in, what a goal that could have been from Abdel Raouf, the Barcelona left back, who plays right back for us, interestingly enough. So here we go. Good stuff from Kamal. Not exactly... I mean, come on, mate. You don't need to hoof that forwards like that. But, yeah, we're going to see a lot of direct balls coming forwards towards the front three, towards Arab down the... our left-hand side, which is where the target man is really playing for the Moroccans. That's lovely stuff from our winger. He should be able to win that. I'm not quite sure why the winger kind of got cut off down there, but, you know, that's early signs. That's not too shabby. We've got to be careful as well, because the Moroccans do tend to score a lot just before half-time, so we do have to be careful there. 15 minutes in, though, they've not really created much. Most of the highlights, despite it being uncomprehensive, have been us. So we'll really have to wait and see. We don't really want to be giving them corners. Like I said, they are a much better physical team than us, and it will, without shadow of a doubt, cause us problems. I thought that could have been a penalty then for a second, but just on the edge of the box, the target man to take the free kick, smacks straight into the wall, and Said now needs to play this towards one of the flanks. And we just about managed to do that, so here we go. El Sayed, pedal to the metal, needs to find the cross for Said. Oh, he's hit the bar, and it bounces back into the hands of the goalkeeper. I mean, you know, that wasn't exactly the ideal cross we would have liked, but that's twice now. You know, we hit the bar once, and then that could have easily bounced on the wrong side of the line for the Moroccans, and we could have been 1-0 up. I think positively going into this game, oh, what a save. Positively going into this game, we've scored a lot of goals. We've been scoring goals somewhat for fun so far this tournament. I think it's interesting there as well to see how deep Arab was getting. So he's actually playing central, whilst Benali, who normally plays central, is playing out on the right-hand side, and that's probably simply down to the physicals that he can offer. Oh, God. Oh, no. Khalifa's injured. Going in for that tackle seems like he has actually hurt himself. He's down to 55%. It's a gamble now. Do we keep him on? Or do we take him off? I think we are going to have to take him off. So Kamel can now drop back into his centre-back position, which means we have two Kamels at centre-back. Unfortunately for us, Mohamed Hussein, who really started things off as our defensive midfielder, is now no longer injured, and physically he's doing pretty well as well. So he's going to have to come onto the pitch. But that's going to affect us because we like playing with the two centre-backs. We're approaching the last 15 minutes here. Yeah, so my issue with it is that we like playing with two centre-backs, and the kind of centre-back converted to defensive midfielder in front to deal with teams that play with target mans, especially in the central areas, which is the exact case that we've got here right now. So, judging by what we've seen so far, I mean, guys, we've barely seen any highlights, and, you know, we've got it on comprehensive highlights. The highlights we have seen have all been Egypt. If you look at it from one perspective, we've not created that much, but from the other perspective, it means that the Moroccans have created absolutely diddly squat. There's another highlight for us. It makes you wonder if Kamel can get his head onto it. Saeed shoots. Oh my god, it hits one of the Moroccan defenders' bums, and now they can counter-attack from this. A good tackle there from Shouty. Gives it back to the goalkeeper. And we are going to be going in at half-time at 0-0. The game's been all us, but neither of the two teams have actually had clear-cut chances, unless we can grab a cheeky goal here, which honestly would be amazing. You know, the roof of the stadium would probably come off. El Sayed is through, drills it to the back post, and there we go! Yes! Mohamed Shouty at the back post scores the goal just before half-time, and mentally, that is not going to be healthy for the Moroccans. And that's exactly what we really needed, exactly what the doctor ordered. Why is nobody picking him up? Goalkeeper, please come out and collect that. And Ramsey was being a little bit lazy there, for my liking. But we go in at half-time. But, you know, we can't take anything for granted. Ahmed Omari is playing really well for them. 3 shots saved. And to be fair, he has. You know, we've had chances. They haven't. And their goalkeeper's kept him in the game. But we are only 1-0 up. So we can't afford to get complacent here. So I will calmly tell the lads not to get complacent. And fortunately for us, Hussein Saeed doesn't actually seem pissed off about it. Adel Ramsey's morale isn't really great ever since he got his suspension, and he's looking nervous now, which isn't really good. But we'll leave him on as things currently stand. In terms of other changes we might want to make, I don't really feel like we necessarily need to change much, but I think we could do with a bit more possession. So I'm actually going to change Saeed to be a complete forward on attack. That will hopefully help us kind of hold on to the ball a little bit better. I'm going to leave Abdurraouf on defend because, yeah, I don't want to concede early on in this second half, and we'll go from there. It's a tough one, really, because until the Moroccans look like they're trying to change what they're doing, we've basically played our cards right. The whole first half was all us, and as we can see, El Sayed, I did say that I wanted the emphasis on El Sayed, which is why when I tweaked things back down, I left him as the winger on attack, because they're playing with a makeshift left back. It's not their main left back, and it certainly showed, I think, so far this game. So we're playing very, very wide now, and it means that there's a lot of room on the pitch that the Moroccans can manoeuvre into. Now, there were reasons for that tactically that we discussed, but we may have to go a little bit more narrower as the game progresses. But this is good. The Moroccans are throwing men forward. Saeed, needed to really finish that off. 1 goal for us, and that is basically good night Morocco. But as long as it stays 1-0, they're going to be able to try and counter-attack like we just saw there with the 3 up front, and we're going to have problems. Arab, the target man, has moved over to the right-hand side now. So we do need to keep that in mind, which really is where Siam is. So it makes you contemplate whether we could maybe benefit from setting him to defend, or to sit a little narrower, being inverted, and then give Abdurraouf more of a license to roam into midfield to give us a 4th person up against their 3. But it's only the 48th minute, so I'm not going to kind of bite off more than I can chew right now. Let's try and get past the first 10 minutes first of this second half and take things from there. El Khayari is on a yellow card. His aggression, it's difficult to tell, but at times like this, you know, if you can get an opposition player sent off, it's pretty massive, to be honest. So for that reason, we're going to look to tackle him hard and see if we can frustrate him. Okay, so Arab comes off, Wasim Dirham comes on. 189 centimetres, plays for Shenzhen, so I'm assuming he's probably a target man-esque style of player as well. He's now actually playing on the right-hand side, which means it's perfect that Abdurraouf is on there, which means we can now leave Siam naturally playing the way that he is, which is good. El Sayed picks the ball up, and it's probably foot on the gas again. We need to switch play down here, if possible. Instead, we come up with that ball that was unbelievable, but the finish just wasn't there from Saeed. I tell you what, Saeed and El Sayed today are having an absolute field day. Good hold-up play from Saeed. Whips the ball into the box, and, well, it comes out for a corner. But now we have a centre-back coming off and an attacking midfielder coming on. So now we basically... Shoot. Ah. But yeah, well, now we need to basically make sure we don't have a formation change. We don't have a formation change. Who's that player? Nasrullah. Was this guy that just came on? Okay, so it's just one of them weird ones where a player can play midfield and centre-back, and the game thinks he's a centre-back, and we've just had a player sent off. Like, why have you just done that? Ugh. Siam. Okay. Lovely. That's exactly what I wanted. That. Totally. Okay. So, what do we do now? I don't know what we do. Flipping heck, man. Okay, so Farouk is going to have to come on. He's going to be fullback on defend. And really, we have problems now, don't we? We really do. It's difficult to really kind of suss out how we want to play this now. Because El Sayed really feeds on running towards the byline and playing balls into the box. We could move Saeed back here, try and help out defensively, but probably not really the ideal solution. So I think if we move Hussam here, hopefully that'll have him closer to the action on this side of the pitch. As far as we're concerned, we're just going to look to exploit the right flank and really just try to keep the ball more over towards that side of the park. We'll drop our width now a little bit to fairly narrow. We'll try and be a little bit more disciplined and see where that takes us. But I hate to say it, but that sending off has really left us in the lurch now. And I've played enough Football Manager to know that that is going to bite us in the backside, whether we like it or not. So El Khayari to Nasrullah, who's all green and, you know, ready to rumble, coming straight off the bench. But fortunately, he's not that good at kicking. So the time is ticking. We need to be careful because once again, these throw-ins... Oh, what a strike! And that was exactly what the doctor ordered there. Flipping heck, what was that, boys? What was that? Okay, Saeed is right-footed. So, no, he's left-footed. Why I think he's right-footed? First I called him Hassan. Now I'm mixing up. I'm sorry, mate. Like, you have a close place in my heart, Hussein. I don't know why I keep thinking you're someone else. Okay, so he's left-only footed. And we'll play him like that. And now, really, let's just hold on to this ball, boys. Let's just hold on to this ball. You know what I mean? Forget the passing into space. Forget the dribbling. Let's just... be narrow, be compact, be difficult to beat. We've got a 2-goal lead. Mohamed Shouty, I want your babies as things currently stand. And if you do the same thing in the final, then you know you can have more than my babies. But here we go. It's kind of it's a very weird situation that we're in now because there's still a lot of the game to still be played. Yet we're 2-0 up and down to 10 men. Like, I don't think anyone really saw that goal coming. I think the Moroccan goalkeeper should have done better, but after some of the wonder saves, to be fair, that he was pulling off in the first half, yeah, you know, he was due a mistake, wasn't he, really? So here we go. We can see El Sayed there still playing very, very tight to that fullback. So for that reason, I'm going to remove that, but still enable this on these boys. And I think we can make one more sub. I don't actually want to take Kamel off, even though he seems knackered. But it's kind of... yeah, I'm gonna leave the sub for now. I'm gonna leave it for like the last 10 minutes, and then maybe go with 2 defensive midfielders. Good stuff. We scramble that ball away just about. If we can win this ball back, it could be counter-attack heaven. But no. But we are giving away a lot of fouls now. Shouty as well with a yellow card as we look to park this bus. Oh my god, we're defending here for our lives, aren't we? They're throwing the whole kitchen sink at us, are the Moroccans. Well done, boys. Just getting rid. and Derham was offside there. So it looks like we're approaching the last 80 minutes. This is where we can really seriously look to waste time and, you know, shut up shop. Here we go then. So we no longer want to look for the overlap. And in terms of what changes we might look to do, I think we can take Shouty off and go with the 2 defensive midfielder approach. Will that leave us a little bit too deep? It could do, so actually we'll just, yeah, we'll go with that for now. And El Sayed can be tweaked down to be on support. I mean, you know, another option would have been take Saeed off and try and keep him fresh, but to be honest, I think taking the lad with the yellow card off at a time like this is really the better choice. And once again, we've come into 2 matches really fearing the narrow 4-3-3, and we've been able to counteract it really damn well. Don't lose the ball there. Don't lose the ball there. Pick that up right back, and it's offside. But yeah, we've been able to deal with both Morocco and Mali incredibly well. And to be honest, I feel like if it wasn't for the fact that we went down 10 men, I mean, Siam's going to be suspended for the final now. Or to be fair, you get sent off in the semi-final, you probably don't deserve... Oh, God. It's another set piece we've conceded. Another set piece we've conceded. Oh, as if we've conceded a set piece. All right, come on, Said. To the corner flag, mate. To the corner flag. You can argue it's still early for the corner flag, but I beg to differ. Concentrate. The clock's ticking down. Kamal's got a yellow card. And we just need to keep it... What is that pass? Guys, just hold on to the ball here. Just hold on to the ball. What is this? What are you doing? Okay, goalkeeper. Okay. Okay. Like, can we all just calm down a little bit? Just, you know, calm down. Everything's going to be alright. Because Bob Marley says so. 5 minutes added time. What's the 5 minutes added time for, ref? Just pass it back to the goalkeeper and let him just stand with the ball. Okay. Good stuff from Said. Simple 1-2s. Just play it out wide. No. Oh, he's through. Just run it to the corner flag, lad. Or play it back. Keep going. That's it. 3 seconds to go. Look, it wasn't pretty, but we've managed the win in the semi-final against the Moroccans. We're through to the African Cup of Nations final. But I do kind of feel like if it wasn't for us going down to 10 men, this game would have been a lot smoother than it turned out in the end. Ahmed El Sayed, I said that it needed to be a massive game from him up against their kind of makeshift left back, and it was, as he got 2 assists, and we managed to keep their 3 strikers quiet. What a run this is in the African Cup of Nations. Certainly tell the lads, well done. I'm not going to tell them not to get complaints for the next match because it's the bloody final. But now it's time to find out who are actually going to be playing in the final. So I'll be back with that in just a sec. Okay, here we go then. So Nigeria actually managed to beat the Ivory Coast. And this is quite interesting because I think both Nigeria and Ivory Coast offered me their jobs. At the same time, Egypt offered me their jobs a few years ago. So this is really going to be massive. And I think what's going to be hopefully what gets us over the line is the fact that if we take a look at Nigeria's game against the Ivory Coast, they won it on penalties. And one of their goals was a penalty, actually. Well, Mustafa Bile, 51st minute, penalty 52nd minute. What a game that must have been. But the fact they won it on penalties and they won their semi-final on penalties tells me that they must be absolutely knackered. And while we don't have information on all of their players, as we can see physically, how many days have they got to rest? They got 3 days to rest. So hopefully the fact that they've played more minutes than us means that we can use that to our advantage in the final. We can finally, in this Pentagon challenge, defeat Africa, win the African Cup of Nations, add it to my career milestones. We'll have defeated Asia, and hopefully then we'll have defeated Africa. But knowing my luck, I've been saying all this, and we're going to end up losing in the final. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm really excited to get our hands on silverware again. Well, I mean, I say get our hands on silverware again, but I really am getting ahead of myself here. I really need to ground myself. See you next time.